Welcome back to the episode. It is December 3rd. We are about, I'd say, yeah, just a little under 24 hours away from our Lions kicking off. Um, Definitely dive in that a little bit, talk about the Packers game, and then, what that result was. But then also, we'll really start off with is talking about the Michigan Ohio game, the game. Um, Yeah, so we haven't had a year like this since about 2020. Just kind of both teams going down Thanksgiving weekend. So we feeling it here, but we're gonna go ahead and dive in and rip off the Band-Aid. Start off that Ohio game. I'll let you talk about that a little bit, and we'll jump in and get started.
Yeah, man. I hate to even have to we have to talk about this. But no, the Ohio game. It is. I think we just left a lot on the field. Best way
Yeah.
for me to put it. I don't think that was our definitely not our best shouting outing. We from a coaching standpoint, from player execution standpoint, it it just didn't look like a brand of Michigan football that we have had been accustomed to seeing over the last couple of years. Kind of really so that a lot of this season, even though the 9 wins, it wasn't as sexy as it has been in the past. Uh,
Mm.
you would like to see that margin begin to separate where we can have those moments of excellence, like we did in, let's say, obviously the Central game, like we did in the Maryland game, or where we're picking defenses apart, defenses stout, and we are rolling. So I'd say
Mhm.
this game I think was just kind of the worst of the season. Kind of encapsulated in one. It reminded me a lot of that Oklahoma game where the score really didn't dictate kind of how close it felt.
Mhm.
Uh, it more probably more so in that
The exact same score, I
yeah,
think, like
yeah,
27-9 or 24-9.
yeah.
Yeah.
So very very similar where you felt that if we could catch a break, if we could get a scoop and score, a pick six, block a punt, I don't know, Bryce Scamper for 50-yard touchdown, whatever the break may be, we could capture some momentum and capitalize on the other minor wins that we had, like a pick early, like
Mhm.
you know, the 30, 40-yard rush right at the gate. So I think those are the type of things I look at. Um, you know, just kind of disappointing, I would say. And left a lot on the field, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. No, you hit it right on the head, man. I think I told you on Saturday, I think in a nutshell, like injuries, um, I'm not gonna say like the refs made a big difference in who was gonna win that game. Like definitely got to the kept Ohio, but like was working against us a little bit. A lot of just like youth and inexperience. Like I saw like Big Noon kickoff, they like posted a stat like just like a graphic where like JJ McCarthy, like the championship team, like 1,500 snaps where Bryce only had like 400. That old line had like 3,000 snaps where like the current old line only had like 1,500. Skill guys kind of like a similar just difference. And I don't know, that's just kind of been the difference all season. You obviously see the talent. The team is oozing with talent.
Yeah,
You just got a lot of like underclassmen, playing key roles. And then you throw in the injuries. People don't even talk. I mean, we lost, five-star tackle that probably would have started. Lost him like spring ball, I think. You know,
I
just
I think it was like mid August, but yeah, I
or
think it was
yeah, okay. Oh yeah, okay. Was it okay? Yeah,
yeah,
lost,
even a little more detrimental, a little more, yeah, a little.
yeah. And I don't know. And I do feel like the money Bryce was paid, he was gonna be the starter regardless. I am wondering, like, what if the dude Mikey Keene was healthy?
Mhm.
I do feel like Bryce would have been a starter, but like I don't know, you know what I'm saying? To where like you got a guy, 50 starts under his belt, 5 years, 50-year senior. I ain't gonna like I'm glad that Bryce was a starter. I want to say that. The youth, I think that's kind of ended up being, the difference to where like we're gonna live with it with Bryce, the youth. Like that's our guy the next 2 years. So like, I think he had a hell of a season. But once he's seen, how it just got tough, but I think you like how things. the result for the most part. It just would have been nice to like capitalize off a lot of the mistakes throughout the season, just execute better.
Right. No, I agree with you on that. And I think the Ohio game, we I don't know if we played well. We did not play well enough to win, but I want to drop you down to Saturday, second quarter, 5 minutes and 34 seconds. It is 10-9. Ohio is up. They get
Yep.
the ball. There's that touchdown that potentially could get called back for the touchback because he fumbled out of the end zone. Not even trying to be biased at all. I think that was a fumble out of the back of the end zone.
Oh, for sure.
That's a fumble out of the back of the end zone 92 times out of 100. Why it wasn't that time, we can have those questions. But from regardless, 10-9. That made it 17-9. We got the ball with like no time left at half. We downed it. We got to stop coming out of half. We got the ball back. We did a 26-yard completion, 0-yard pass completion, a run for 0 yards, an incomplete, 11-yard punt, touchdown, 27-9. That's the ball game right there, or 24-9.
Yeah.
That little from that touchdown callback, let's say that whole drive, from 5 minutes in the second quarter to 7:35 in the third quarter, we lost the game.
Yeah. I think we've heard the term of like you got to win the last 5.5 and the first
Yep.
5.5, and literally, like boom,
Yep.
yeah. I mean,
You have any one of those in there. That touchdown gets called back, or you get a stop there outright way. That's a
mhm,
different ball game. We get to stop out of half. That's great. If we score, it's 16-9. It's 16-17. Well, we don't. If we punt more than 11 yards, we can pin them deep. Well, we didn't.
yep,
If we let a 50-yard touchdown up 2 plays later.
yep,
That's just demoralizing. When you're hovering around that you're right in the ball game, but you need a big play to happen. You can't have a consecutive series that look like this.
right,
That's failing on every aspect. That's failing in fourth down right before half. That's failing at on offense. That's failing at special teams with the punt. It's so no, I agree with you. And just to talk a little more about Bryce, I would say the biggest issue that is in Bryce's overall game this year was his lack of touchdown passes. 2,200 passing yards for a freshman is solid, especially at Michigan. And I'm going to give him his praise on this. If you go and look, I did some research. He's like 300 yards or 200 yards shy, so he'll probably hit it in the bowl game of being all top 10 all time for passing yards in a season.
I
That's
think
how,
JJ for like 2,700 his junior year. That's
and that was
it.
like third or fourth all time. Shea
Hmm.
Patterson's up there with a year. I think I'm blanking on a couple other people that are around, but I think it's like basically 2450. I think would get you top 10 all time. So he is basically one solid game away from being top 10 all time in yards for a season.
Yeah,
61% completion percentage, very solid. 350 on the ground, 5 touchdowns, very solid. I would like more, probably closer to double more, but
yeah, and that
call it 610 touchdowns next year. I feel great.
that's
Call
the
it
youth thing too. And I don't mean to cut you off, but just like how many times could he have kept it? And but just
yes.
there's a lot of like just meat left on the bone.
I agree. And maybe this is a culture thing, whatever, but I would say going back, JJ should have kept it more.
Yeah,
It the quarterback, I don't know what the fuck it is about what they're learning there, but there is
yeah.
so many yards left on the table here,
Unless
especially
unless it's just straight duo, you know what I'm saying? But there just for a lot of times where like he would kind of fake like out towards like this looks like read option. You know,
mhm.
if it's just duo and they like that's just how it looks. It's like all right, but yeah, like
No, I
I
agree.
don't, the
But
read option side of things.
nine
We,
touchdown passes, 7 picks. I think we said going in, if we both kind of determined he could have kind of that Terrell Pryor year, and I think Terrell Pryor was right around 15.
yeah,
So, if you had 6 more touchdowns throughout this season, it doesn't seem like a lot, and it also would make the world of difference as far as how his
mhm,
stats look, as far as how the offense flowed. So I think I don't know sure what that means as far as our offense or as far as the defense the field getting shorter in the red zone, or us just being such a run heavy offense. I'm not sure how that works out, but that's the biggest discrepancy is the lack of touchdown passes. He kicked
Mm-hmm.
yards, completion percentage looked good. He definitely clearly missed some balls, some players wide open every now and then, but no more than dropped when he did hit them. So
Yeah.
I think it's the passing game needs a couple of tweaks that I think that would make them look night and day better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'll
Yeah.
say about that. And
I think I
yeah,
think like a lot of this stuff too, like, with Bryce, it's gonna be so scary, and I think that's where it's just like on the optimistic side of things. This guy I listened to, this podcaster, I'm trying to I can't remember the exact frame of the term he said, but he was just like before the season even started, he was like, I'm looking at Michigan like through a prism of like 2026. Like I'm looking at like what they could be. And I know like, you know, obviously we want to like recreate that success we just had a couple years ago, but like, I feel like it was ugly sometimes, but you gotta love them pulling out that Northwestern game. You gotta love them just like thugging out the Purdue game. The whole defense
yeah.
is depleted, and you know what I'm saying?
Especially
Like,
when you consider the youth. I think
yeah, you got
two freshmen on
Bryce.
the line,
Yep.
quarterback freshman,
He
half
turned the
the
ball
season.
over and
Yep.
he's going right back to go get it. He turned it over two times in a row against Northwestern and went right down the field and was like, we about like put him in position to
And
win.
threw one
Like,
of the best passes to Marsh you'll see all season.
right. And you gonna fast forward, it's gonna be
Yeah.
a year from now down in Ohio, 27-24, 27 all. Like all this is gonna pay off in the long run. I'm just excited to see how they got these practices. I'll low key hope we do get the matchup with Texas. Just want to see it measuring stick. You know what I'm saying? Um, I just want to really just kind of see or any SEC team. I think that'd be kind of cool to get that opportunity. But these extra practices, they'll be good going forward.
Mhm. For sure. No, I'm looking forward to just yeah. We'll stay in touch with who we play for the bowl game, how that works out.
Yeah,
And no, I'm not signing days here. I know we don't hop into that too much, but no, good things happening. It's just a matter of tightening some things up, polishing up some shit, and I think we'll be right back in it. I mean, the
yeah,
fact that we sound beat up over a 9-win team that lost to Oklahoma, I think a year or two, Bryce probably don't lose that, and we'll get a chance to get that back next year. They're not gonna
hmm
have, to my knowledge, some random kid that had 5,000 all-purpose yards a year before walking on campus again
yeah.
that nobody knows exactly what he is or
hmm
um,
Not
a
just if
lot of
we and if Bryce is who we think he is, like
he
he
gonna
gonna
put
be
the
on
work.
a mission. He
Yeah.
gonna he already 6'4", 230, might get to 240, 245, running a 4.5, 4.6. Everything will be way slower come spring
Mm-hmm.
ball.
And,
I mean,
and
yeah,
and as far as the team, yeah, obviously we can get more depth of this, but I don't know what the team is able to do or what he can do with his own money, but go get some. I don't care. Pay to have Tom Brady sit down with you and review some game tape. Pay to have whatever that may look like. Go get
I'm sure the
Harbaugh.
resources are,
Yeah,
yeah,
you just capitalize on the resources. I think we, like I said, if he could have doubled on touchdown passes to 18, which isn't crazy,
yeah,
I think we're sitting here probably 11-1 worse.
yeah. Because
Uh,
we like love JJ. Obviously, I think Bryce ceiling is like twice of what JJ's
yes.
could be like could have, especially like JJ he didn't get to start like as a freshman like right. So that just for like I'm looking like just what we saw from Bryce this year starting as a true freshman. I mean, it's you're gonna double up a lot of the numbers next year. I think.
No, yeah, it's it's all there for the taking. Like you said, put the work in, and
Hmm
but no, bro, yeah, it's messed up how the season ended. But that being said, get a book. Good. I heard Alabama's thinking around. If they don't make the playoffs, you can play them. Texas,
hmm
I've heard that name. I think any of them big time matchups, you know, that will be in one of the better bowl games, not in the playoffs. So that's something to look forward to.
Right. Yeah. So
Uh,
probably right around New
no.
Year's Eve, New Year's Day, um, Citrus Bowl, or I think last year was like the Outback Bowl or something like that. Yeah, we'll see what they got. And yeah, I mean, I know we don't really touch on the recruiting a whole lot, but the class looked solid. I believe it was like a top 10, top 12 class. have those guys starting to just think it's kind of get to hang around, practice, I imagine, and go to the bowl game and everything. So it's good to kind of see a lot of these young guys that contribute early. They just kind of get a crack at it so soon, which is yeah, just nice to see, I guess, for like a
Right.
continuity standpoint.
No, I'm right there with you on that. No, it's still go blue, even over sad.
Yeah, yeah, gonna be yeah, another the year's missing playoff, but I don't think we got too many more of those going forward. But yeah, we'll turn the page, just really gonna dive
Speaking of
into
missing
these
the playoff,
Lions.
speaking of,
Hey, we're gonna see what they made of. That's pretty much where I'm at with it now. This is where coaches, they get paid to coach. This is where guys just kind of dig in and find a way. Um, yeah, but no, I mean we'll talk about just that Packers game. It's ruined Thanksgiving again. Like it just yeah, I can go ahead.
no, I would say for me it was a lot of my fears coming to fruition about the squad. Just
Hmm.
kind of just really showed. I think I brought it up last time we hopped on it 2 weeks ago at this point, but last time we hopped on, I was saying the best team that we've beat. What's our body of work look like as far as the best team that we've beaten? At this point, it clearly beat the Bears. They won two more since then. But
Yeah.
looking at that, it just seemed like whenever we play a top 10-ish defense, we were struggling. Whenever we played a playoff team, we would struggle. And that's exactly what the Packers are: a playoff team and a top 10 defense. And we sputtered.
Hmm.
Short turnaround on the game, but so the Packers had short turnaround as well. And to me, it seems like we are just sputtering in the water on both offense and defense. We are giving all day in the world to pass. As far as defense line, getting very little pressures, very little disturbing the pocket, very little. And because of that, quarterbacks, I believe, are getting the longest drop back time in the NFL. Is like over 3.5 seconds per pass play. That's that's just not sustainable for any type of team. Yeah, I don't care how good
Hmm.
your quarterbacks are, let alone a defensive beat to hell with in the secondary. So it's and then on offense, we just can't catch a groove. It's golf still can't get no wiggle, get out of there. So whenever there's a little bit of pressure, he's getting taken. The offense line is not doing him no favors
Yeah.
as far as
He had our
keeping
longest rush on Thursday, 24 yards.
running for his life. Yeah, running for
Yeah.
no, and yeah, that's just not. Yeah, whenever you hear that, I guarantee that's a loss. Jared Goff is
Hmm.
your longest rush. It's with the running backs that we have on that team, with
Yeah.
and just kind of everything. Losing St. Brown early, just all around overall bad, man. And then you know, it we're not completely out of it, but I think that let me know that not only we have to sharpen our tool now, if we get into the playoffs, it's a whole nother battle.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I think for me, it's just like just frustrated. So I think, sit on here a couple times already, like these Amon St. Brown drops. I don't know if his body just starting to like kind of go on him. I mean, 140 targets a season, 1,400 yards, running digs and slants, and I don't know what's going on, but like I think starting there, and it's part of like kind of like the groove side of things where you know he's dropping passes on key third downs or like second and longs where he's open. And it feels like it's kind of starting to kind of like a domino effect. I think there's been a couple of times you throw him 1st and 10, he drop it, now he's 2nd and 10. We trying to O-line is not elite anymore, so we can't really just run on these second and long, third and long plays like like situations like we used
Yeah, they
to.
haven't bail us out. Yeah,
Yeah, so like, I just think like that to me, like that's a problem. Obviously the O-line, I mean, it just sucks. Like, you like Rattler just playing okay. Um, I mean, Glasgow, he's just old. And then you got like, Mahogany who got hurt. You got Coyote Iwasaka who's been getting beat like a drum. Just gonna call it what it is. And then, we also had a draft pick that was a guard. from LSU that got hurt in camp. I mean, I think he's practicing now, so maybe he'll get a crack at it if Osaka
Is that Frazier?
get Miles Frazier, but the inconsistency on the O line is just making everything else look tougher. That defense, I mean, they came out like firing, but I don't know. It's one of them things, I know you asked me like our best wins, and I said like the Ravens, I think like the Bucks. You look at like both of those teams, I mean, they're kind of like in the same kind of space that we are, you know what I'm saying? Where they're just like, they're about one injury away from like just kind of the season being over, or like, one more loss to where it's like, all right, like now you're out the playoffs. Like the Bucks is lucky to be in a pretty shitty division, and so are the Ravens. So that they got a lot more wiggle room than we do.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's facts. I
so
think
and
I think
then
I would agree with you on the Ravens because if Lamar doesn't go down, they probably don't lose.
yeah,
What they go 1-5 during that, or 1-4 during that stretch.
hmm
You'd have to think they probably have at least 2 more dubs.
yeah.
But no, I agree with you on that, man. It's
And I
yeah,
think, and I just want to say too, like the defense. I mean, I think that front seven, that's kind of like who we lean on, and they just, I mean, they came out hot to start the season, and I don't know if it's like what I mean, obviously the secondary is gonna make a, I don't know. We're not really even stopping the run how we used to. You
mm-mm.
know what I'm saying? Like we're not making teams one dimensional. We're kind of just letting them. They're in second and seven, then they're like second and five, third and two, fourth and one. Go for it, get it. You know, we're just not really getting any pressure. And I'm calling out Hutch. Just like, bro, like, I mean, he's getting chipped, he's getting double teamed, he's getting triple teamed, but they just got to scheme him up to where like
Yeah,
you got to just get him to win more. We need more from AQM. Davenport's first game back. I imagine he got to have a little more juice tomorrow. Um, I was just kind of surprised to see like the fall off of just that front seven as a whole. Like, McNeil came out of the gate hot, and it was just kind of like, well, guys just kind of got quiet the last couple weeks.
yeah. No, I think you made some great points. It's I don't know. This would be a larger question, but it's like I don't know. I guess you go back to the 24 draft and you look at
Yeah,
some of those guys. It's like okay, Terry and Arnold, solid. Ringstraw, missing in action. Uh, Traded up 2/3 to get Giovanni Manu. I don't know. It's kind of like you begin to. I think when you look at it from that point of view, it's like that's where all those players should be thriving by now, or we should have the depth of we had 3 third-round picks when we got Manu. That type of thing. Where I think though that's what's coming back to bite us now is we went for some home run, like he fell in love with this prospect or that prospect, and it does work out from time to time.
yeah.
You go back and look. I was trashing Jameer Gibbs when we
Oh
traded
yeah,
him. I'm quick to say wrong about that. I'm dead right that I think we've made some other false bad moves that are hurting us at a time like now where you just need good bodies around. So you
yeah,
don't have to go off the waiver wire to go get somebody. You don't have to do this, do
yeah,
that. Um, you know, the Giovanni Manu 2 third rounds moving up to get him for a guy that hasn't barely played is tough when you look when we're decimated like this now. 2/3 to get Tesla when we're decimated like this, and he's kind of like I don't know what it is because I think he has like 3 catches, 36 yards, and 2 touchdowns this year. Like,
he literally has like 5 catches, 3 touchdowns, like 100 yards. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
yeah, he's just kind of like
it's
I don't know, we're like if I'm Taysom Hill in him, like we're just kind of like we're just trying to find ways to do shit and force him the ball, and I don't know, it frustrates me a little bit, and I think those are the types of moves that I think you really have to look at now, and we just we have had 3 years of Hutch, and we can't get him another solid bookmark on the other end, so that they can't triple team him like that. And outside of that, Hutch has to do a better job of just dominating
yeah.
and getting through them and making who cares at some point. They
hmm
JJ Watt happened to him. It happened to
Miles Garrett,
Miles
JJ
Garrett is out
Watt.
there. It was Miles Garrett every week, and he finds a way to get 4 sacks every other week.
He
So
and they be losing
yeah, and one thing about Hutch
all the
we've always
time.
said is is he always usually he seems to historically get them in bunches, and that
Yeah.
seems to be missing. Where he'll have a game where he gets 2 or 3, and then he'll have another.
Hmm.
You know, but we're not getting none of those large, you know, um, set games from him. So to kind of put a bow tie on that game and fast forward to this one tomorrow, I think that this is when a player like Hutch, you got that big deal. You're the face
Hmm.
of our defense. You're one of the faces of the team. Michigan's finest. He has to come up big and go get Dak on the ground. I'll say 2 times. He has to get
Oh,
him on his ass 2 times. Set that
yeah.
defense up right. Because it's going to be a long day for us, and I'll throw it over you in a second. But I personally think if Hutch don't have a big game, it's in. I would say the defense line as a whole, but starting with him, if he doesn't have a major game, it's going to be a long day for us. If Dak is getting 4 seconds,
The
going out of the
receivers
pocket,
get going.
finding C.D. Lamb and George Pickens with who we have guarding them, we're gonna be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. No, you get around the head. That's what I said, like kind of start things off. We're gonna see what we made of. We're gonna see. Can you put it together, and just go get like a gritty Lions victory? Can you just put it together just to live to fight another week? Because that's how it feels right now. You just got to get this one, and then, if I'm not mistaken, you got to go out
Rams.
to the Rams. I mean, but like this one is the most important one. I think this is the one where, like you said, Hutch got to have a big game. We got to be able to. I mean, they already gonna be feeling, thinking about that 46-9 beat down last year.
No, I keep your train of thought. I want to say just to piggyback off that. You said that this is the most important one, and I would say that's week to week at this point.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
but according to the computers, if you win tomorrow, there's a 50% chance you make the playoffs. If you lose tomorrow, a 22% chance.
yeah,
So you're going from a coin toss to you probably ain't in it.
yeah. I mean, you need, because it sucks. 'Cause the Bears got them, Packers tied them, so that you can at least close up some ground there. Um, I don't think they played Minnesota. Well, yeah, Minnesota behind. I mean, they don't matter, but like you still start to kind of run into these, NFC East. Got to go. This is what I was telling you. Got to go like 3-1. To kind of be able to give yourself a chance
Yeah, I mean, I
when it
think we
comes out
have
of these tiebreakers.
one more loss for margin. I think we lose 2, I don't think we're getting in. You lose tomorrow, even if you can beat the Rams, I think you got the Steelers to beat them. Minnesota at home on Christmas, I think, and then you're gonna go at Chicago. I think that's just a tall task, especially unless Chicago just don't care at that point, and they if they're sitting there at
Yeah,
yeah,
and it'd be
already
interesting too. 'Cause
but
I'm still hit on them Bears now.
I know.
They
Yeah,
got
what
the
you guys
second
say? What
worst
you guys say
schedule.
about uh oh Ben Johnson now? No.
Yeah, he could take the shirt off. I'll take the cap. They look good. They do. They do. That Philly win was,
They look like we looked.
but they got the second hardest schedule behind us. So we're gonna see what they made of too. We're gonna see. I'm all up
Yeah.
in the camera right now talking to, we're gonna see. I might be on here with a frown next week, but
I mean, it'll make it that much better if we can pull ourselves up from our bootstraps, quote unquote, and storm into these playoffs. And I think this is this. I'm trying to keep it real. I do think there's a flood in the boat. Like I do think I'm not just
yeah,
not saying
we
I think there's a flood in the
got
boat,
like a
but yeah, we got to
yeah.
scoop shit out and plug it real quick. But this is what we talked about. This team getting ran through the mud, and we're gonna feel this way and just keep fighting, fighting, fighting. And if we can get healthy at the right time and hit some strides, we are a team to be fucking with in the playoffs. But I
Yeah.
think we may be doing a little bit too much of the struggling and not much of the dominating as I would
Hey,
like.
bro, we get it out the mud for real.
Yeah.
Like it's like
So
you might see Dan Kimball out there in the 89 tomorrow. Like, fuck it. Just
whatever it takes. I mean, because you sitting
wrestling.
there looking like I just want to rattle this off real quick. Um,
Hey man.
San Fran at the 7 seed, Green Bay at the 6, Seahawks at the 5, Tampa 4, Eagles 3rd, Rams 2nd, Bears 1st. Um,
Yeah.
we got one of them already. We got Tampa under our belt.
Yeah,
Rams is up.
so
We won't play
fast.
San Fran.
We got
It's
5 games left.
yeah. So it's kind of
Come on.
you see the making of what's happening, and
We're 3-2.
yeah.
We'll
I mean,
do
I
it.
think yeah. It starts with tomorrow though, because if I think we just got punched, and we're still kind of stumbling a little bit. If we can't get our groove again, we get socked one more time, it might be it. So I think we gotta get this under control, and I think
My man's on South Park. I ain't hear no bell.
yeah, I ain't hear no bell. That's funny as hell. No, but just in general, we got about 90 seconds left. I think it's all there for the taking. It's just we can't.
Yeah.
We need Gibbs to have big games, but we can't depend on Gibbs to have 200 yards in order for us to win. We can't,
Mhm.
I think, and we got to start doing the little things right again. Like you said, the simple catches, simple runs, finding that groove again between Gibbs and Monty, where I think we had a good thing going where defenses it was like a electric shock to them when we switched them out. It doesn't seem to have that same effect anymore.
I just want to do scores real quick.
Oh,
I'll say 27-24 Lions.
you're gonna put me on the spot. I ain't want to do it.
You got like
I
20 seconds.
Yeah, I have to go with my gut on this one. I don't think we're gonna pull it off, and I think I'm gonna go 27 20 or
Okay.
20 to 7 20 to 27, I guess, on our front. But
We're gonna see what we made of.
yeah.
We might talk to y'all next week. Till next time.
Detroit Pistons podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, and Michigan basketball might be on the docket sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we're gonna go in
So
the thing like Homer Simpson and come back out the bushes.
yeah, for real. You see Pistons gear, jerseys, all that. But they're gonna win tomorrow. So